rebounds, 3 assists for the newly named Western Conference Rookie of the Month. Really more like a month and a half because it's half of October, but you get the idea.
Oh, he's been good for a long time. I mean,
well, he was good for like 3 years in Spain.
Yes.
Yeah, and all of us, who didn't get a chance to watch him on the weekly or the daily when he was drafted, you saw the film and you saw the video and you were kind of saying, okay, let's see what he can do. And then when he stepped out on the floor, it's like, Donnie Walsh always goes like this. He goes, oh, okay. That means he's really good.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It was interesting. There were all the questions about, was he a good enough athlete to play in the NBA? And what I've seen is that he pretty much gets where he wants to be, despite the fact that he's not particularly explosive, primarily because of that footwork, but because he's a big enough kid that defenders kind of bounce off him occasionally, and
he's smart.
he just knows the game.
I was just going to say his IQ gives him space because he's got that step back where he bumps you and steps back. But I can't tell you the difference for that kid playing against grown men since he's been 15, 16 years old. He's not playing in high school. He's not playing in AAU, and he's not playing in college against kids your own age. He was a 15-year-old kid playing against 30-year-old men.
Yeah.
And so the physicality of our league isn't going to bother him.
Yeah.
And my one question was just his quickness defensively wise. But again, he's very smart defensively wise, so he's in the right position a lot. And so if you're a good positional defender and can move your feet laterally, you stay in front of a lot of people. So I like him. I picked him as Rookie of the Year starting off the year just because the advantage of him playing with all those grown men, veterans. And, people look at the like the European League, and they're Division I over there. It's way better than our college game. Way better.
Oh, yeah.
Their top teams over there in the EuroLeague, they would beat the heck out of these college teams. You know what I mean? It's good basketball. It's one level below the NBA, but it's above college. So there's guys that play well over there, usually as young players, come here and do very well.
He was the league MVP of the second best league in the world at 19 years of age.
And the thing that you love about him is he's a guy that just loves to play.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not doing it for the money. He's not doing it for the lifestyle. He's doing it because he likes it. And it shows. It shows with the way he's playing with the Mavericks, and it shows the way, his teammates are gravitating around him.
Things changing around the league, changing in the Southwest Division as well. Dallas is really good right now. San Antonio Spurs are not, as evidenced by their performance here on NBA TV tonight. Here's Greg Popovich afterward in Salt Lake City.
Well, they've had a tough time finding that three-point hole, during the year that caught up tonight. They did a great job. They knocked down a lot of shots, but they did it the right way. They had great penetration. They were very unselfish, and guys knocked down the shots. And that makes a big difference when those things go in. So they did a great job.
They brought in Kyle Korver for that very purpose. He seems to be, fitting in at least early in a second run out here in Utah.
Yeah, maybe he got them all excited about making those threes, because that's what Kyle does. So it got pretty infectious. But, they were physical. They played good D. They're doing a great job.
Talk about your team, about 24, 25 games in. What do you see in your scoring, Coach?
We're very challenged defensively.
The numbers bear that out. They came in 29th in the league in defensive efficiency. You guys both referenced the roster and the talent level on the roster right now. What as a coach, can Greg Popovich, who is admired as maybe the best in the league currently, has at different times been considered the best in the league, what can he do with this group?
Well, you keep getting your team prepared, and you keep giving them as much information as you possibly can about the opponent that they're playing against. You overload them with information because as confident as you want them to be going out of the locker room, that's what they're going to rely on the game plan. Now, what you can't give them speed, you can't give them athleticism, and you can't give them youth. And that's kind of what they're missing right now is speed, athleticism, and youth. And, all Pop can do right now is get his team prepared and say, this is what the other team's going to do. This is how we suggest you stop it. But when that other guy's a little faster than you, a little stronger than you, jump a little higher than you, that's Not much you can do about it.
It's called 2-3 zone. That's what it's called. You put your 2 guards up front, you put your center in the middle, and you have your wings, and you all guard a little area. And you hope the other team just passes it around the perimeter and shoots it, because they can't stay in front of anybody. And I would play some zone, I think. I would look at playing some zone. You got to change it up. I mean, it's one thing if you had 3 or 4 injured players that are going to come back, you know, in a couple weeks.
Right. Murray's gone for the season.
Right. And then you say to yourself, okay, we're just going to stick with our game plan. But you almost got to throw what they're doing out. It's not working defensively. They just can't stay in front of people. So, you know, and Pops would probably be sick to his stomach even thinking about it. But you junk the game up.
Yeah,
you
you
do
have
some
to.
2-3 zone.
Yeah.
You do a little 1-3-1 trap, half-court stuff. You know, you just – and you know what you say to yourself? It can't be much worse than giving Utah 139 playing man-to-man.
Yeah.
You know, so whatever you do. So you got to junk it up. And you know, it's tough to do because you just, as you said, Zeke, they're not getting younger. They're not getting more athletic. They're not getting longer.
Worst start for the Spurs since the year before they drafted Tim Duncan, Greg Popovich's first year on the job back in 96, 97. These two teams will see each other again, by the way, next Sunday in San Antonio. On the way, the curious case of Markelle Fultz, a diagnosis today. What's next for the former #1 overall pick?